Welcome back to Giggles and Glutes, guys. Hey, hey, hey. And if you've been here
Hello.
before, welcome back. Today, Donaé and I decided that we are just going to have a catch up because it's been a while since we've done that.
Just kind of think it would be cool for everybody to sort of know what's been happening because our first episode that we released, sorry, where are my manners? Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, hello. Our first episode was kind of us introducing ourselves to you guys, and because like nearly 6 months has passed, I'm pretty sure a lot has been happening in life for both of us, so we figured it would be good just to catch you guys up on everything. So how have you been, Zoe? What's been happening?
Hey, so much.
I know.
Okay. So obviously since being back from Cape Town, I decided that actually in Cape Town already, I restarted my personal training business, and that was super, super exciting. And now it's like 5 months into doing this and I'm starting to get busy. So it's actually so exciting, but so tiring at the same time. And I don't want to complain because I live for this. Like the other morning, actually, when I was driving to work, I was up at like 5:30 because I needed to leave. And then my first client was at 6:30, and then it was so still and quiet outside. And I was just remembering how I used to drive to work every morning at 4:30 or something like that. And the world is so still at this time, and it's so peaceful. And I would just drive with my window down, and it was pure bliss. And then the other morning when I was driving to work, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love
It
this.
makes you feel very nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's like in your mind, you're driving to the same place that this feels familiar, and all those emotions and feelings come back. But it's also weird when you step away from something for so long and you come back, you realize how much, I don't want to say taxing, it is taxing on your body because you become so used to not doing this thing that you actually forget everything that goes with it. All you remember is the job, like training people, this is the thing that I miss and whatever, but you forget about all the times that you were tired and all the times you had to wake up and fight with yourself and your alarm, like those 4:30 wake ups, so leaving at 4:30. It's not easy, it's not for the faint, but I think it's so amazing that you're back.
And you forget, thank you, and you forget that you as well, you also went from having just 1 or 2 clients to now being so busy in your day that I barely speak to you. It's so weird. When I messaged you the other day, I was like, are we not speaking?
Like, is everything okay? It was weird.
Yeah, so I was like, where's my friend? Is she okay?
It's so funny. And the thing is also, I think it's good, like in anything, whatever your career is, there's some times like in your life where you're going through a season where you need to put something that was or is important to you on the back burner so you can focus on other things. Like for you, that was your family, moving and having a child and your marriage and all of those, like building a home, so it was kind of the time for you to step away from that was then. And now you find your feet again and you can step back into it as well. And even for me, in November, I will be here 2 years. And it was also
insane. The time has flown
so quickly, like it's wild. It's actually insane. It's so crazy.
You know what they say? Time flies when you're having fun.
But for me, coming from being so busy to moving here, being a private PT, I'm not as busy. The job is not as taxing. Yes, I was looking for creating opportunities in work for myself. Not that I needed to, but because I wanted to, because I was craving that, like tired and being busy. And now that I'm like, okay, it's taken me 1.5 years to get to a place where I've settled in here now. I'm comfortable in my space like you are now. You have a team with Ella and you and Andy have ball rolling with what you guys do and whatever. And for me, it's like, okay, I know my rhythm. So now the time is right for you to add on and step into, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it just would have felt like we're juggling so many
too
things.
much.
Yes, exactly.
Because also in that time, you needed time for your mind to accustom to the fact that You're not in your home country anymore. You're not with your people anymore. You just needed that time actually to adjust to what life is abroad. And how all of the other challenges just needed more attention, like maybe learning the language also in your case, even though they speak more English probably in Abu Dhabi. But still, you still needed to somewhat get more comfortable in having to possibly say 1 or 2 words in Arabic, you know, to be able to bridge the gap sometimes.
Yes.
So,
and for you, that was like a whole language because you speak like fluent. You guys, Zoe speaks fluent. When I was in Germany, she would have fat chats with people. We'd go into stores and like we would discuss like what I was looking for, whatever, and she would translate. And I would stand there and I would be like, "That's my friend." Like, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of her. It is insane. As an adult, to learn a brand new language, it's extremely difficult. So I think that's absolutely amazing. Really.
I'm not like a native speaker or anything, guys. I'm not yet there. I don't understand all the nuances of the language yet, or like if someone makes a satirical joke, then I don't always get it. So I don't know like the inner crevices of the language yet, but I can get by.
And
so
now
thank
the new
you.
challenge is learning the muscles in German, right?
Oh my
because
gosh.
your clients are German.
Do you know how hard this is?
I can only imagine because from English to Afrikaans alone, and Afrikaans is a language we are familiar with, alone you are like, los man, I'm not going to bother.
No, honestly, the words, you know, you'd be like in English, bend your knees. And now it's like, boig, steine, beine. The words are just getting more and more.
That's a mouthful, actually. Say that again.
Boig, steine, beine.
Boig, steine, beine. That sounds good.
If I speak to you, I'd refer to you as do, right? But it all depends on the context. If this is a formal conversation, I would say Z, right? So always just someone you don't know, or in a formal setting, you'll always say Z. But in our case, we know each other, we're friends, I'd say do, then it would be do boigs. Like, and for every different person that you're speaking to, or in a different context of the person, like he or she, then it will also change. Then the verb would also change. So the verb changes depending on the person that you're speaking to. Like me, it would be ish boig, and then do boigs, es boigt. Like the verb changes. So in my brain, I must remember that the whole time.
Why I am proud of her for having literal conversations with people, because I'm just like, what is happening right now? What is happening? It's so amazing.
Oh, so like, and you know, the muscles are already like pectoralis.
Yes. It's already Latin. It's all Latin word. So it's easy to, oh my gosh, I can't even. But I think it's so amazing how just in the space of 6 months, the conversation we had when we started the pod versus the conversation that we are having now, I think there's so much growth here, which is so beautiful actually to witness. And a lot of the time, people don't take time to reflect. And they don't take time to look back at where you are now versus to where you were. And I was speaking about this the other day on my Instagram. Like now, for example, you like, I need to wake up at this time. I'm so tired. This is so hard. But a couple of months ago, you were like, I just want to get back to doing this thing. You know what I mean? At the time, it was like, it was little. You probably didn't sleep through the night all the time. It was your challenge then. But now, she's fine, and now you have this new thing, and you dampen the whole situation, not seeing that I've actually come out of that into this new thing that I wanted, and now it's hard, so now I'm fighting with myself. So I think it's so important.
That's actually some new perspective, actually. Yeah, definitely. And also, we've been doing this for 6 months now, Donaé. Like 6 months, we've been dedicating our time to meeting every Tuesday or Thursday to film. And
through daylight saving and all, like we made it work.
trying to organize our crazy schedules, and then
Yes.
Donaé's flying and I'm flying, then I'm back and then she's away, and then it's just been crazy. But we always try to be consistent and try to show up for this thing, because this is our baby, this podcast. It's something that we enjoy doing, so we love that we can share it with so many people, and we love that we can share our passion, for fitness with so many people. So it's rewarding, actually.
Yeah, it really is.
And I wanted to ask you, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask you, but I actually wanted to ask you, how's your laser journey going?
Oh, my laser journey is actually going very well. Whoever said that laser doesn't work is a liar. It 100% does work. It's not a pyramid scheme where you repeatedly buy sessions. So one of my friends here actually said to me, I have to go. Because we went to the pool one day. And I'm like, the hell? You were like properly hairless. Like, what do you do? And she was like, laser. And I was like, when I went to have laser done in South Africa, I had 6 sessions, whatever, and it didn't work. And then she was saying to me, what the problem is? The problem is that you need to go in there and to tell them to pump that machine up to its highest. It's going to hurt, but if they put it so low, the laser doesn't get to the root of the hair. So if you take the level up. So I'm like, okay, cool. First appointment. I go in there. I'm like, first appointment. No? I go in there. She's like, we're going to start you off on level, whatever. I'm like, take it up, because now I'm not going to waste my money again, because I already wasted my money in South Africa, so I'm not going to waste my money. So I'm like, take it up. She's like, ma'am, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. Because I remembered back then I felt nothing, wasn't sore. Zoe. Oh my gosh, I screamed that girl's mother's everything on that bed. I was like, what is this? It's so painful. It works. And now every time I go, it's still painful. Unfortunately, it doesn't get better because the appointments are so far. I go every 2 weeks, then 4 weeks, then 2 weeks, then 4 weeks, like that.
Okay.
Because of the hair growth cycle. And then, it doesn't get better, but it definitely does work and life-changing. I'm so glad I started.
I definitely take an Adcoodle 30 minutes before.
I always forget to do this. Because you always tell me, you're like, don't forget your pain. I'm like, Zoe, I had my laser today. And you're like, don't forget your painkiller. And I'm like, damn it, I'm already here.
I don't know if it's the best advice. This is what I do before my laser. I pop an Adcoodle so that I'm nice and relaxed.
So that's a hack for you guys, actually.
Yeah.
That's a hack. But also, they're supposed to offer you numbing cream. They don't, because they need to leave the cream on for 10, 15 minutes and then they start the appointment. So my friend actually last week told me, because I was telling her, I was like, why is this not getting better? Because I had an appointment. Then when I went this week, I asked them for numbing cream, and then they said that's going to take 20 minutes. And because they obviously work on the schedule, and I don't have all day to be sitting there, like I have things to do. So I was like, it's fine. We're going to win it.
Oh.
But life hack. Definitely. For you guys. Life hack. I forgot about the pivot year for a while. I haven't been very good at reading the pivot year, which
Me too.
You guys know, I read this every day when I could last year. Today is day 128. I actually read it this morning. Can I read it to you?
Yeah.
So it says, once you introduce a new thread into the fabric of your reality, it is all different. It has all changed. Instead of thinking you have to reinvent yourself all at once, shift one tiny aspect of your existence and watch as a simple act of that victory becomes a wave of transformation that will pierce through your life as a whole.
Beautiful.
I'm like in a weird space at the moment where I'm like, who am I? My 20s is coming to an end. What have I achieved? You're hard on yourself. You want to know, what did I do? What did I do? I want answers. And I had a conversation with a friend last night. And they asked me, when you were 20 years old, what were the things that you wanted to achieve? And they said to me, name it out loud. Say, what are the things you wanted to achieve? And I mentioned all of the things that I wanted to achieve. I mentioned about 12 things. And then on this list, there were 3 of the 12 things that I did not achieve. And they were like, okay, so you achieved 9 out of the 12 things, and there's only 3 things on there that you haven't achieved. And you're going to allow those 3 things to actually overpower the fact that you have achieved the 9 things. And they were like, do you know, coming from the country where the area that you grew up in, just your background of your upbringing, the percentage of people that will actually ever achieve any of those 9 things in their life. And I was like, whoa, I never
took it like
you
that.
Get so stuck in this, I'm missing this, I want this, I want to overlook the things that you have and that you already have achieved. And now, because I'm going to be 30 soon, I'm like, extra pressure. And I said this, and then they asked me, like, who's putting this pressure on you? Is it your family, your parents, your friends? And I'm like, nobody. Because quite frankly, I've realized that I am grateful enough to be surrounded by people in my life that are supportive in whatever I do. There's no pressure for you to perform a certain way, to do these things, to bring this to the table, whatever. There's no pressure from nobody. But the pressure is internalized. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because this message again in this book, it's always so fitting. It's wild. Where it says that if you introduce a new thread of fabric into your reality, then it's all different. All of it becomes different. So it's like, if you are going to focus on this one thing that you don't have or whatever, your entire perspective of your whole entire life is going to go to shit. Because you're dwelling on this one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if I've learned anything in this experience, it's that you really need to take a step back and like look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but sometimes you also need that outside perspective because sometimes you go so deep into your own searching that you think that you're taking an outside perspective look, but you're actually going deeper in. So you're not really getting that big picture perspective that you think you're looking for. And that's why it's important to have good friends, good people that are going to give you good constructive advice that's not going to break your personality or break your character or hurt your feelings. The advice must be pure, must be honest, and must be only about things you've asked for
not
advice on.
Advice.
Don't be giving unsolicited advice to your friends. It's not your place unless they are. So I'm happy that you had that outside perspective, or that you were able to get an outside perspective, a real outside perspective, and that perspective actually allowed you to see, because you can also get an outside perspective from someone and then it could be like, doesn't change your ways or doesn't change the way you see things or whatever, you know?
Sometimes maybe what they are saying is not what you need to hear, but it triggers something else, another thought.
Yes.
And it's actually so important that you say that, you speak to the people around you, because a lot of the time, a lot of people feel like, I can do this by myself. I don't need anybody. I can figure this out by myself. And this is where you basically repeat this vicious cycle over and over again, because you're not accepting help from anybody.
Yeah.
It's like putting together a table. Like, have you ever struggled to assemble a piece of furniture? And
you talking from your IKEA struggles right now, hey?
And then somebody comes and they're like, but did you try to do it like this? And then you're like, oh, I didn't think of it like that. And then boom, it works. But you were spending 5 hours trying to get it the same way, repeating the same thing and not getting anywhere. So again, like, nothing changes if nothing changes. And I think it's just like all of that. But
yeah, this is turning into such a crazy conversation actually, because when you're also getting this outside perspective, the people that you want to turn to are your loved ones. Don't be turning to your colleagues at work and to random people. Or actually, maybe a random person would be great, because they won't care about anything. They would just be able to give a pure answer. But what I mean is, when you're searching for answers in yourself, the people close to you, I would hope, if you're spending time with them, should know you enough to be able to guide you to that point. But obviously you should also be able to see and recognize, is this going to take me to my path? And if not, how can I apply this advice and make it usable for me?
And this is the thing also, I'm so glad that you said that, actually, because no matter the amount of advice or who the advice comes from, if you in yourself, somebody can tell you to do something, but if in your heart it doesn't feel right, or this advice disrupts your peace, you can't just blindly follow what people say. You need to also trust your intuition, and you also need to trust yourself in knowing that you know, even though you know nothing, you still know at least about yourself, you know, and which voices to listen to internally now. And I think that is so important, especially from an aspect of growth, which all of us in our life experience.
And growth is so uncomfortable.
Oh,
it's extremely uncomfortable, especially when you stumble upon it. Like you at the moment, you're not really stumbling upon it, you're going into 30, but I feel like this is a normal phase that you go through as you go into your 30s. You start to reassess everything in your life. You're like, are the people in my life right now still the right people? Checking everybody out.
Fine, just go.
Yeah. You assessing your job. Do I love this job? Am I still going to be able to do this for the next 20, 30 years? Am I still going to wake up every morning wanting to do this thing? You're assessing like your family life, your personal life, you know? So this is one of those growth situations where life has thrown this growth thing on you and you don't have an opportunity to adjust your sails. You just have to go through this and keep in mind that you are going to come out on the other side of this as long as you continue to ask the questions on the process. On the process, ask the questions, is this okay? Is this right for me? Am I doing this right? Because when you get to the other side and you've answered all that questions and you are able to say yes to more things than not, you will also know and feel more confident in yourself to make decisions in your life. And it's important to know how to make decisions in your life so that you make more correct decisions than wrong, because obviously we all want to be successful. But if you continue to make bad choices or take the wrong path, and yes, you can always come back, and yes, you can always correct, but it's also important to avoid making the wrong decisions.
The thing is also, there's so much pressure on wanting to do the right thing. And is this thing that I'm wanting to do right or wrong? At the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that you don't know. You don't know if you take a risk in something or there's something that you want to do. You don't know how this is going to play out. And if it fails, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was the wrong decision. Like my friend also said that if you do something, whether it's good for you or whether it's bad for you, the bad isn't always bad, because something good will come of it, that you will learn something, which everything in this life is a lesson. So if you fail at something, you need to ask yourself, what did I learn? If this conversation that you really wanted to have with your friend turns sour and you actually end up fighting and losing this friend, what did you learn? Again, even though there's a bad situation that happened, there's always something good that comes from it. And it's again this thing of focusing on the negative only, focusing on the thing that you don't have, the thing you can achieve, whatever you are lacking, but not focusing on the strengths and the positives and all the other things that you have going as well for you. So I think in a nutshell, it's perspective. Actually, it's perspective.
Literally, it's all about perspective. It's all about how you want to view your life and how you view life in general.
And it's not about the people, actually. The people have nothing to do with it. Did you ever see when people go into the gym and they're like, oh, I'm so shy because they're going to look at me. In reality, nobody in the gym gives a shit about anybody else.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I swear to you, nobody cares.
Unless you're walking with your ass cheeks out, then everybody's obviously going to look at you. That's different.
Or you're wearing bright neon tights.
Yes,
and you're trying to catch everybody's eye when you're walking up and down.
That's different, yes. But if you are going in there, like, to mind your own business, like everybody else is going in the gym to mind their business, nobody cares. And it's the same thing about life as well, is that nobody cares. You know what I mean? You can be on Instagram seeing someone's perfect life on a reel that's 45 seconds long. You're going to watch it, you're going to put that down, and then your life's going to carry on.
Yes.
The fact that you saw this thing, okay, maybe there's a message that was left for you, maybe you're going to dwell, oh, that's a nice bag, I'm going to Google it later, you know? Or something like this. But it's not like you're going to dwell on this, like, what?
talking about bags.
Oh no.
So I don't know if you saw the whole luxury scandal thing
Yes,
going on
I
at
did.
the moment.
I
Donaé! I'm so
was like-
pissed.
I have never been so proud of not being a label whore. Sorry for the term. I was like,
Listen.
that's heartbreaking.
So Andy's like this to me. So you don't need the Kelly anymore, hey? You don't need that Kelly anymore because...
What
I
do
was
you
like-
mean I don't need
I was
the
like-
Kelly anymore? What do you mean?
I was like...
But the thing is, this app that everybody's talking about, this yellow app, I literally
You know what it
went to
is?
look for it. Yes, I found it.
Yeah.
I found the app, but you
Yeah.
like, need to go searching. I don't have time for this.
No,
understand.
no,
I'm
you have to go
available.
search specific manufacturers
So
or
if you need the serial
factories.
number or something.
You must search on TikTok. It's all over TikTok. It's not hard to
It's
find.
Wow.
It's insane. I'm
Did
so
you buy
mad.
anything off the app?
I'm so mad. I haven't bought anything off the app because honestly, I'm just the type of person that if I can't afford the original thing, then I just won't buy it at all.
Yeah.
Or I will buy like a locally designed item or
It's
like
original
that. So I
though.
don't like to buy knockoffs as prior to this whole thing.
Okay.
I don't like to buy like knockoffs or,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. It's not my thing. But I would buy a local designer of like 300 euros or 400 euros. That I would do. But I won't walk around with a Gucci bag and it's actually Gucci.
Yeah.
Like that.
Gucci, oh my gosh, I die. But you know what? I was telling my sister also, I was like, when were people going to realize that the whole world is made in China? Like, we know this. Everything is made in China. It doesn't matter if it says it was made in Saint-Tropez. It comes from China. Everything. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
just like, what
Because most countries don't have the workforce and the factory sizes to produce the amount of product that is needed in the rest of the world. That is why China produces almost everything. Because they just have the workflow, they have the materials, they have everything that you need to make the product.
China's
So,
like the industrial
and-
area of the world. The
Exactly.
industrial continent.
And then also, let me use like Germany, for example. The minimum wage is high.
Oh, wow.
If you're going to make that same bag, the minimum wage in China is like, example, I don't know what it is, but example, 10 euros. So automatically as a company, it's just logic where you're going to go make your product. At the place where you can make more for cheaper.
Yeah.
That's basic business.
It's the same like
any-
filming a movie, an American movie in South Africa, for example. Because
They do it
production
so
costs
much.
way less. Because the dollar was the rand already enough sold. It's all fly to South African film.
Business.
No problem. Why not? Why not? Oh my god.
So while I am pissed off at the whole situation, it's also like, nayakla, you know? Like, of course that's happening. And of course, they're then sending their bags back to their country in Italy and just finishing it up. And then that's why they're able to say made in Italy or made in France
Because they own 20%
or whatever.
of it. Like, that's still the reality of it. They can, by law, say that this thing was made in Italy, even though it was made in Italy.
But it's so messed up that the Chinese are like coming out and being like,
Donald Trump pissed them off.
yeah, but just think about it, eh? LVMH and Hermes, that's not American companies. So for them to have come out, I understand why they did it. The biggest luxury market is the US. So that's probably why they did it, because they want that US customers. But the companies that you are hurting are not
Is
American
not
companies. So it's a bit messed up what they did. But at the same time, I'm here for the drama.
Like, always. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for joining our catch up. I want to say that I hope that you've learned something, although we did not educate you on anything, and this is the most random episode we've ever done. But we do hope that you enjoyed your time with us. And maybe we did learn something. We spoke about quite a BMC actually. So maybe you did learn something. Please leave us a like and a comment. And also don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
And let us know if you own an original or a dupe.
I don't think anybody's going to say they own a dupe.
No,
actually, we should
bought
say
on the yellow app.
On the app. Yes.
Yes.
If you bought on the app.
Yes. If you bought on the yellow app, let us know.
Yes, please, so that we can see what's up with this product. Thank you so much again for joining us. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.